Hello out there. My name is, well, I'm not so sure it even matters what my name is. I think the most important thing for me is to um, to do this blog because I feel like in life we all have our preconceived notions and our expectations, and at some point um, you come to the conclusion that none of that matters. Um, you just realize that life kind of is the way it is, and that you don't really have a say, you know? Like, I guess a lot of people use that adage, like, oh, you make plans and God laughs, and I mean, whether you believe in a supreme being or not, the truth of the matter is that I think we all make plans, and I don't always think that those come to fruition, or they might not come to fruition in the way that you think that they will. Um, for me, I'm mainly making this video because I want people to see that, this is what 35 looks like. You know what I mean? And the truth is at 35 we have all these expectations that people are supposed to be in a certain place in their life. They're supposed to have kids and a nice car, or two cars if they're in a couple, and they're supposed to own their own place, and all these different things. There are all these expectations, and the truth of the matter is what I'm learning in my journey is that none of that stuff matters. It's an interesting thing. A few years back, I was hanging out with one of my friends, and she had this meetup group. I know you've either seen the meetup groups or you've been a part of a meetup group. And for those of you who haven't heard of them, they're essentially just groups where people go to meet up with like-minded people. So, if you're into knitting, you can put together a group of people that'll get together and just knit. Or, people that like dogs, will all get together, stuff like that. My friend's meetup group was like a raw and vegan meetup group to help people that were raw and vegan to kind of hang out with one another. And for me, I think it was like the first or second meeting that I had gone to. They met once a month or something like that. And while there, there's a gentleman that turned to me and said, turn to your friend and tell her how you felt. And it was really weird. He's like one of these intuitive guys. And I didn't know what he was talking about. And I literally turned and looked at my friend. And the thing that I said was, you're always running. And you never know what you're running from. But the truth of the matter is when you run, and by running I meant this friend traveled a lot. They were always like traveling somewhere. But the truth of the matter is no matter where you run, the thing that you're running away from is yourself. And wherever you go, the person that you find is always yourself. And that can be kind of the truth for a lot of us. We are out here and we're looking and we're searching and we're trying to find something, and the thing that we always end up finding is us, our imperfections, the highlights, the low down dirty parts. Like every little part of yourself you will always find. No matter how far you run, no matter where you go, you will always find yourself. And that's so important to me right now in life. The truth of the matter is at a crossroads. I'm 35 years old, and I'm just kind of coming to the realization that I have not known myself, and I need to find myself. My life right now on the exterior looks good, you know? I drive a luxury car. I'm married. My partner and I go on beautiful vacations to different places. Um, I wear nice clothes. On the outside, look put together. And for me, um, I kept, like I was saying before, I kept running into myself. And I didn't realize that that's what I was running into. Um, and essentially, what it looked like was just life was never where I wanted it to be or how I wanted it to be. And in every way, shape, and form, I was always just falling just short. You know what I mean? Like, you thought that you were there, but you were always just like one peg under where you thought you would be. And finally, I decided that I needed to do something about it. And my journey has been, to find a way to figure out who I was running into and why running into this person was important. And at some point, especially today, I had a session with my therapist where I ran into me. And quite frankly, I have to backtrack a little bit. I actually ended up running into I've had small glimpses of myself, but I didn't quite run into like me until probably like a week ago, last Thursday. I had a session with my therapist and I ran into myself for the first time. And I could just see the raw, crude self of who I actually was. You know what I mean? Or what I looked like, or what I, beyond all the perceptions and all the other stuff, kind of what I was at my core. And quite frankly, like, it just shook me. I didn't know how to take it. For the past week, I've been reeling. I've been like, just trying to figure it out. Just trying to put together why I felt the way that I felt and why things just felt so raw and odd, And so what ended up happening was today I had another meeting with my therapist. I have a meeting with my therapist every week, and I really ran into myself today. And I think as we continue, or if you guys continue along with me, and I continue to make this blog, which I think, or the series of videos, which I think I'm going to do, you'll get an understanding of like what that looks like, Yeah, so I ran into myself, and one of the things that occurred when I ran into myself was that all of the parts of you, all the components of you, all of the pieces of you, the pieces that are good, the pieces that you love and that you cherish, and the pieces that really just make your skin crawl, all those pieces they're all important, and they all come from somewhere. We don't create our personalities just off of nothing. Your personality comes from the experiences that you have, from the people that have touched your lives, or all of your lives out there, in my life as well. That's how you're shaped as a person. And I just got to the point where I realized, this is me. And today I really faced it. Today I did, how they say in therapy, oh, you did some good work. I feel like today I really did some good work. And I almost feel or have this sensation that like I'm just at the beginning, Like I'm really, for the first time in my life, at the beginning of a chapter, at the beginning of figuring out what it means to be me and who I am and where that will take me and where I'll go, you know? Yeah. So I do hope all of you will stick with me through this journey. I feel like the most, and the reason that I really wanted to do this and the reason that I wanted to share is, one, I think it's important, and I've heard it's important for people to take the time to just write things down and jot things down. You know, it's a way for you to express what's going on with you. And for me, it seems that when I was, you know, previous iterations of myself or previous versions of myself, and I was more quiet or more reserved, it was easier for me to put it down on a pen and paper, which is, I mean, what I got here, you know, I got a little book and I jot stuff down. But at this point in my life, I feel like it's important to speak up, you know, to not suffer in silence, but to really put words and sounds to the way that I feel. And I mean, it's not only for me. The truth of the matter is I feel like there are a lot of people out there that have these same types of feelings, you know? They feel the same way. And they can't put a finger on it. I mean, man, at 35 years old, I'm just getting to the point where I'm feeling these things and I'm having these emotions and I'm like, oh wow, like this is what it looks like when I'm more in tune with myself. And I feel like throughout the years, and you know, I said it a little earlier, I've been shaded from myself. Like literally, it feels like I'm just living life, and when I actually see a bit of me, it's like such a surprise. It's like, wow, like that's the person you are. That's who you really are, you know? And it's not because that's what I wanted to do, that I've wanted to hide things from myself. But I think everybody, and you hear this in, you know, schools of thought when it comes to mental health. When something happens to you, and if you view that thing as traumatic, sometimes you hide that thing from yourself, you know? And I've seen it. I've had friends that when you talk to them and you ask them about periods in their life, they have no clue. They have no recollection of what that period of their life was like. They have literally like zero cognition about a whole era in their life. They can't remember anything. So much so that you'll show them a picture of like a snapshot, you know, of a moment of their life, something that everybody else remembers, and they look at the picture and they have no idea what that picture means. Like it doesn't resonate with them at all. It's just like blank. It's zero. It's nothing. And for me, like I knew that I had something like that. I knew that inside there was a bit of me that I wasn't connecting with. And I knew that whatever that was shading my life, and it was affecting everything. And it wasn't until I started on this journey that I was actually able to like really see it for whatever it is, and really be able to say like, wow, like this is where I'm at, you know? So I am sharing all of this in hopes that for the people out there that haven't gotten to the place where they can see who they are or what they are, they can take a good look at this and they can say like, maybe there's something in me that resonates with this. Maybe there's something out there, or I shouldn't say out there, but someone out there that is going through something that maybe is something that I need to look into, you know? And more than anything else, I want to help those people. I want those people to be able to sit down and think about these types of things, uncomfortable as they are, you know, just to be able to say, maybe something's not right, and maybe it's something that I should think about, you know? Um, and I'm doing it, I think, in a manner where I'm trying to be the most genuine that I can, you know? For me, as I've said, a lot of my life has looked very good on the outside. And part of that for me is like always doing my hair and, you know, making sure my face looks great and wearing nice clothes and trying to put on airs. And coming to you guys now, like, I'm literally in a shirt that I don't ever show anybody. It's one of like the things that I suppose one would consider like a security blanket. It's this shirt, and I have two of them that I've worn for like years and years. They were always this material. They were always like see-through. So no, I didn't like use them all up. But it's something that it brings me, excuse me, a lot of joy and a lot of comfort. And then the second thing would be my blankets. Anybody who's ever come to my house is aware that I am like a strong believer in a good blanket. I think that when you're not feeling good and you just need to relax, sometimes it just feels great to like put a little blanket on and curl up and relax. And that's the truth. I mean, like, through this whole 35 years, I've found ways to cope with things, you know, like the blanket or the shirt, or, you know, when I've had panic attacks previously, drinking water, or, you know, talking myself off the ledge when I felt that I was reeling and I couldn't pull myself back in. You know what I mean? And so I hope to go over all those types of things. I hope to really share with all of you everything. All of the good, all of the bad, all of the indifferent. I want all of you to see what this bit of 35 looks like, you know? And like I said, part of it is I hope that it'll help the people out there who are really struggling and can't put a finger on it, and I hope that it can help the people that were the 20-year-old versions of me, that were looking at the people at 30 and thinking, oh, you're going to have it all together then and life will be fine. I want it to help the 30-year-old versions of me that were like, oh, in 5 years you got to get it together or everything's going to fall apart. Or for the 16-year-old versions of me that are like, you know, it's going to happen. I have a lot of life ahead of me. I'm going to go to college and I'm going to make things work. And my life is going to get so much better. And by the time I'm 35, my life is going to be amazing. Those are the people that I want to help. I am not sure what the format of this is going to look like. I am just going to try to wing it and give you guys information and tell you guys how I feel, and I'll try to like set something up and explain things like little bit by little bit. But I think that this experience is as much about you guys as it is about me. And I think that if you guys feel like something is more important, if you guys feel like you'd like to have more information about something, or you'd like me to go a little deeper in a, you know, this topic or that topic, I want to hear from you guys. I'd love to like get your feedback and see what's helpful to you and what I can do to be of service to all you guys. And so, I mean, this is a beginning, like I said before, and I'm really hoping that, you know, this can be an experience for me that's good, and an experience for all the people out there that is positive and great, and helpful more than anything else. So this is day number 1. I guess for now, maybe I'll do it every day or so, or week or so, or, you know, we'll figure that out. But thanks for coming on the ride with me. Take care. Bye.